Never mind. It's just a nice turnout. A lot because children. Yeah, I thought we needed Oh God. Oh yeah. It's very strong. The water. That's okay. Sorry. I got water. I'm trying to be sober and learn out.
Good morning, everyone. Ooh, lots of energy. Thank you so much for being here and adding to the wonderful energy. I really can feel your energy this morning. Thank you so much, because that helps me. So, good morning. My name is Reverend Deborah Breton Ganberg. And on behalf of the co-pastors and our board of trustees, we welcome you to Kobe Memorial Temple and for our Sunday service this morning. To begin our service, Debbie Farina will light 3 lights symbolizing the unity of body, mind, and spirit. Thank you, Debbie. Please rise now for our opening prayer and remain standing for our first hymn. Infinite intelligence, great spirit. We give great thanks for this beautiful day today, and we give thanks for all the beautiful souls who are here with us this morning. May each person be uplifted in some way this morning by this service and take that inspiration forth into their day. So for all these blessings and so much more, we say thank you, Spirit. Amen. Our first hymn will be led by our vocalist, Jamie Osmond, and it's number 161, New Age Vision. And it's the same tune as Battle Hymn of the Republic, if you know that. It's the same exact tune.
No, that's I don't have to be the one to say that. Eyes have seen the coming out of the seems to be when from every rotation I shall know that I am free, for the age is rich and promise, and my soul to see God through his logic. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. My soul has seen the beauty of the poetry. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. I see the freeborn women family. I have seen the nations rise. There is no tribe or clan, and the worlds all have vanished in the love and thankfulness. God's truth is watching. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Thank you. You may be seated.
That was a fast one. You guys really kept up, so, oh dear. Located on the handout and in the front cover of your hymnal are our Declaration of Principles. Please join with me now in reciting these principles together. We believe in infinite intelligence. We believe that the phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, are the expression of infinite intelligence. We affirm that a correct understanding of such expression and living in accordance therewith constitutes true religion. We affirm that the existence and personal identity of the individual continue after the change called death. We affirm that communication with the so-called dead is a fact, scientifically proven by the phenomena of spiritualism. We believe that the highest morality is contained in the golden rule: whatsoever ye would that others should do unto you, do ye also unto them. We affirm the moral responsibility of the individual, and that he makes his own happiness or unhappiness as he obeys or disobeys nature's physical and spiritual laws. We affirm that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any human soul, here or hereafter. We affirm that the precepts of prophecy and healing contained in the Bible are divine attributes proven through mediumship. Now, the healing prayer is located in the back of your hymnal. And so please recite with me the prayer for spiritual healing. I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from my mind and body and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help, and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and the power of God. And now for those of you who would wish to receive spiritual healing, please take a seat along the wall and go to the next available healer. And you can go to either side there, the blue chairs. While the healers work, the rest of us will join in a guided meditation. And so now just allow yourself to close your eyes. Prepare to journey within. Just make yourself comfortable in your chairs. Taking a couple of full, deep, cleansing breaths. Inhaling as fully as you can. sending the warm energy of your breath to any part of your body that is tense or tight. And releasing the discomfort as you breathe out, so that more and more you can feel safe and comfortable and relaxed. And any cares or concerns that you may have brought with you here today, these too are sent out with the breath. Just breathing them all out, so that inside you can be still and quiet, like a lake with no ripples in it, just still. Just letting go of any thoughts that may arise, seeing them float away as a balloon floats gently into the sky. And now, imagine a place out in nature where you feel safe and peaceful and easy. This place could either be a make-believe place, real place, it doesn't matter. Just so it's a place that feels good and safe and peaceful to you. And using all your senses to fully be present there. Noticing the colors, the smells, any sounds you might hear there in this beautiful place. Just breathing in and breathing out. Just letting go. And now finding a place to sit down in this comfortable space. A place to fully relax. And as you become more and more attuned to the beauty and wonder of this magical place, the wonder of creation, you begin to feel a divine presence all around you. Coming to be with you here now. And you can truly feel the grace of infinite spirit here. And as you breathe in, just allow yourself to take in deeply the boundless love that infinite spirit has for you. That love that passes all human understanding. Just allow your heart to really open to this love that you so deserve. You are loved completely by Spirit, who looks past the surface, looks past any seeming mistakes that you think you've made, and sees who you really are. That loving, beautiful light that you really are. A perfect and precious creation of infinite spirit. You are a perfect reflection of light and love. And that can never be extinguished or tarnished in any way. You just allow yourself to feel God's grace shining upon you now. Totally embracing you for just being who you are, without doing anything, just for who you are. And loving you for who you are. And I invite you to say these affirmations silently to yourself as I say them. I am truly living in a state of grace. And one with infinite spirit and all of creation. I live my life with an open heart. I am the arms and legs of infinite spirit as I share my love with all of life. And I am so lovable in this moment, just the way I am. And now, for just a moment, take this time to sit peacefully, aware of all the blessings that you are grateful for. And allow yourself to feel in your heart and in every cell of your body that you are loved beyond measure, simply because you are. and still feeling the loving grace of infinite spirit surrounding you. And breathing easily, you can once again feel yourself slowly coming back into this room at Koishan, into this time and space. Just feeling yourself coming back into your body now. Your feet on the floor. The energy of Mother Earth coming up through your legs, through your whole body to ground you. And still feeling that infinite love of spirit surrounding you. Knowing that that's always surrounding you. And giving thanks for this sacred time together. And knowing in a deep place that you are better for this. And when you are ready, just gently opening your eyes. Welcome back to Woke Up. If you have received a healing this morning resulting in a correction or an improvement, please complete the yellow card in your hymnal. Looks just like this. And give it to the pastor at the back of the temple, or you can even mail this card into us. And you can also place it in the collection plate as well. We'd like to thank our healers for sharing their gift of healing this morning. And so I'd like to say their names from my left to right. Darlene McCormick, Marty Hadaway, Reverend Claire Van Cott, Reverend Dr. Sheldon Ganberg, Daryl Demerit, and Coquette Cruz. Thank you all so much for sharing your gifts with us this morning and for being here. We really appreciate it. Now please stand for our next hymn, In the Garden, number 155.
I come to the garden alone. Says, and the voice of the ear falling down. And he tells me, he speaks and the sound of his voice. It's so sweet, they're singing, and the melody that he gave to me is real. He walks with me and he talks with me and he tells me I am his. And the joy shed another. I'd stay in the garden with him. Before me, but it didn't go through the void of life. He talks with me and he tells me I am his own. And the joy he shared, none other. Thank you. You may be seated.
Well, now I have the honor of introducing our speaker this morning, Reverend Diane Davis. She has been a medium, intuitive counselor, and teacher for over 4 decades. It's a long time. Her workshops and readings are filled with humor and insights, blending with the knowledge of mind and thought. Presently, Reverend Diane is teaching a series of workshops on natural law. Natural law is her thing. She does a great job with it. So, as Reverend Diane says, these laws are the keynotes to philosophy of spiritualism. So in this series of workshops, you can explore how they operate our world and how to apply them in your everyday life. So right now, I would ask you to give her a warm, warm welcome. Thank you.
Good morning. I walked out of the house and immediately about 10 feet from the back door realized I was going to get hot. So I ran back in and changed clothes. I just asked Deb if I was scary because I took a top off and put another one on and both went over my head and I didn't know if my hair was sticking up straight. You don't do that? Well, the other thing is, you know what happens when you leave spandex things in the dryer too long? Right now, my slacks feel like compression hose from the waist down to the ankles. So I just wanted to tell you that hopefully it won't close off the inspiration. Oh, I forgot my notes. I'm using notes this morning. I don't normally use notes, so this is a big deal. Now, the trick is if I read them. Okay, so as Deb mentioned, I've been doing this for a little while. And so I have all these different topics that I often find myself drawing on them. And the one topic that came to me to talk about this morning was once upon a time, and how the past has had such a strong influence for all of us. And then I started thinking about other talks and other topics that I have used. So I may use some of them today. My favorite of an old one that I've utilized, and some people will probably gag a little bit when I repeat it, but it's, you can't lead a cavalry charge if you think you look funny on a horse. Just saying. Once upon a time indicates the past for all of us, and most of us as children often heard it referenced in books, readings that were given to us by parents, teachers, librarians, you name it. And because we learned that statement and we learned the beauty of it and the magic of it and the hope in it, we have taken that quite often into adulthood. What occurs for any of us in this day and age, and this of course is my opinion, and it's not necessarily that of the management, so I just wanted to let you know that part too. And the fact that most of us draw from our past to help us interpret our today so that we can build on tomorrow. The problem with that quite often is, so often we are staying in the past with our expectation. We look only to the past of how it should be. You know, the shoulds. Ram Dass used to say, I'm tired of being should upon. That one. And so what occurs for us is the fact that quite often we're relying on what we've experienced before or our expectation of what things ought to be. There's no flaw in that. Your past helps you interpret today. It helps you look up here and see this voluptuous woman It's, they're all laughing. It's called imagination. And you all have one. Isn't that great? When Reverend Danberg was talking up here and leading the meditation just now, she was drawing upon so much within you that is that wonderful fantasy mind, that wonderful place. It's that place that a medium will use quite often in interpretation, not making it up, not being silly and simple, but in order to comprehend our thought processes. If I say blue duck, many of you can see it that fast, and then there's others that will try to make sure that the blue is the correct color. And then there's those of you who will wonder what size duck. And then there are a few of you who say, oh, I don't see anything. Well, I will tell you, and there's several teachers in this room, that that's a bunch of. Anyway, so once upon a time and how it influences us. Our past is filled with experiences, places we've been, people we've met, experiences that we've had, whether they have been joyful or not, whether they have been conversations that left us unhappy or angry, frustrated, sad. We've all gone through our experiences that draw upon who you are today. So today you're a composite of all that you've experienced, everywhere you've been, everybody you've known, all of it. Do you remember all of that? No. Do you remember it exactly as it occurred? Probably not, because you're not there now. You can fabricate it, you can think about it, you can add to it, you can say how hurt you were, you can say how disappointed you were in that relationship or that job. You can speak that way, but you're not there now. Once upon a time. So we have this wonderful place within us that can remember many things and hold on to them. And here we are in a life of change. I'm supposed to look. Okay, that was enough. And what I want to mention about change is this. We are surrounded by it in life. It's going to continue to be like this. It's not going back to the new normal that was supposed to be normal and then became the new normal. That one, remember? And it never returned to that. And it won't. Where are you in your life at this time to find joy and discovery and explore who you are at the depths of who you are to become more? A lot of times people don't look to more because remember that once upon a time theory thing? A lot of you might have grown up in life. You're all looking older. I just want you to know that I don't think I'm talking to a wee little thing here talking to you today. But you all have had a lot of opportunity in life to project out what you ought to do, what you ought to be, what you wanted to do, what you wanted to be. Haven't you? Somebody nod, yes, I know I'm not putting you to sleep. Okay. So what happens when any of those dreams or goals or aims don't happen? Did you flunk the course? In the meditation just now, it was mentioned that you haven't done anything wrong, and you haven't. If your life went this way and you really thought it was going to go that way, and you wonder what in the world, and then you never felt confident going this way, but you went this way anyway because it was the thing that paid the bills or took care of the kids or allowed you life when this didn't look like it would offer that. Haven't you had that? I've had it plenty of times. I've been near death twice. I'm a practiced person. That's a practice. Do you realize that? As often as you get angry, you're a practiced person. As often as you get frustrated over an issue and you repeat the issue type, even though the people have changed and the places are different, you practiced at it. We spend a lot in our life practicing and discovering if we're able. Sometimes when we're trying to hold on, it doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means keep an open hand, because we are truly in a time of change. And I mean all of us, are reminded about it daily. And it's an adjustment and acceptance in some ways, but it's also more than that. It's not just an acceptance and a tolerance, it's an ability to say, okay. So I walked out of the house, I got hot the minute that I got to the end of the sidewalk alongside my home. And I thought, I don't want to get up there and start coughing because I'm hot and warm and so I ran back in and changed clothes. A lot of people won't do that. They get stubborn. You know, stubborn? I know most of you in here don't. You can pay me later. But the neat thing with Once Upon a Time is Louis L'Amour, the author of so many Westerns and adventure novels, said a ship doesn't sail on yesterday's wind. I always love that because it's true. Your life is a composite of all that you've been and all that you've said and people have said to you. Was it right, wrong, good, or bad? I'm not here to predict that for you. I'm here trying to take care of my own. But what I will say to you is this, that you have within you this wonderful ability to be flexible, this wonderful ability to adapt and shift, and this wonderful ability to recognize when something doesn't feel quite right. It doesn't mean it's wrong. It may not be ready yet. Maybe kind of like that seed that you plant in the ground. And you water it, you fertilize it, and you wait. And you wait for something to pop up from the soil. But if you go over and dig up the soil and ask the seed, how you doing? Well, that doesn't quite work, does it? But often we have that curiosity, don't we? So you have within you this wonderful place. We talk about it as the spirit. We talk about it as the infinite. We talk about it as the isness. We talk about it as God. You can name it anything you want. Fred, Alice, Tallulah. Who cares? And you know why I can say that? It's because that infinite energy that comprises all life is already in you. It's not something you have to invoke. It's not something you have to ask for. It's not something you have to earn. And you never have done anything wrong to defy it. So we're in this time of change. And how do we adapt and how are we flexible with it? If we are holding on to that past and that situation in the past that upset us or that upset us so badly. I know somebody that at the age of 5 went through a trauma that really, when you listen to it, it's not really a trauma that I think's a trauma, but that's my projection on it, but for them it was. But a part of it is because they only had a small portion of understanding. You have a capability within you to understand more fully anything at all at any moment. You can take that past that you said to yourself once upon a time, And once upon a time was that magic that said happily ever after at the end, didn't it? And how'd that work for you? Except for, it might be better to say, how's it working for you? Because you have time between now and your last breath to embrace life more fully. Doesn't mean you haven't already been doing that. It just means you get to add more. There's always more. And there's people that are going to groan when I say this, but I say it almost every time. That infinite that we talk about, that isness, that God, is everything and one thing more. And that one thing more is that thing you haven't discovered yet, that thing you haven't experienced yet, that next breath that you're going to take, the next blink of your eyes, the next relationships that you establish. And because of that, there's always more. No matter what pain, no matter what challenge, no matter what divorce, no matter what alternative, no matter what didn't work, no matter what you're feeling or experiencing, no matter how you think you were portrayed, you don't know the fullness of the experience because you weren't the only person there. Huh. Now that's curious. Once upon a time, there were all kinds of magical opportunities that you felt because there are stages in our life, and one of them is childhood. And up until you're 5 to 7 years old, there's a whole lot that you embrace that doesn't give necessarily the reasoning that you would really value because you don't have the chemistry in your body yet. Your body is still surviving. It doesn't mean you're not listening. It doesn't mean you're not participating. At 3, I was sleepwalking and doing all kinds of creative things that my mother wrote about in a baby book. I have no memory of it other than waking up on a carpeted hallway floor staring at big chrysanthemums on wallpaper. 3 years old. What do you remember? And if you don't, you're not missing much, are you? Or maybe you are. So neither is right, wrong, good, or bad. So I have a quote here that I got this morning, and this is from James Allen. And something that we often have recommended here is James Allen's book called As a Man Thinketh. And so as you think of things, as you recognize things, how are they leading you into a future to have more clarity, to have more openness, perhaps, to have your definitions of things that are important and significant to you, however you've learned them and embrace them, but keep adding, keep adding, keep adding to who you are. It's never too late and you're never too old. And that's the truth, and I can say it. I'm not as decrepit yet as you're gonna think. James Allen said, you are today where your thoughts have brought you. You will be tomorrow where your thoughts take you. Once upon a time, we learned, and we still do, when we read the books or we read the fantasies or we have that sense of hope, that there's going to be a happily ever after ending or something occurring that's going to be quite wonderful. And that isn't a flaw. It is a hope. It is actions that we take in building toward it. It is opportunity that we experience. It brings in new people, new places, new opportunities. What are you doing each day? Even if it's the same old that you do every morning or every day, do it just a little different. Doesn't have to be big different, but just a little different, because then all those changes that are occurring out here, or the ones that you watch on Fox News, and the ones that are visible or that you're bombarded with on all of the phones that you all want to keep looking at, is that none of that's wrong. It's just the fact that what are you filling your heads with? And does it fill them with the fear? Or does it allow you the recognition of what is real and what is not? What is harming you and what is not? Can you separate out at all? That's a whole learning unto itself, because it has to do with participation. And how you participate is a pretty wonderful thing. Reverend Ganberg's meditation spoke of love and about the fact that you are love. I agree with that, but it's not, to me, the adoring affection. It's a heartfelt discernment that you have and always will. It's one of the energies of you that has been with you since you were born and will be there until your last breath for sure. Pretty amazing. So I want to leave you with a thought about change and how to look upon life and see opportunity. I look down the road here where they've taken out all the trees and they're putting in the housing developments, and soon we will have shops and restaurants and things. I've been affiliated with this community for over 50 years. So there's been a lot of change. And that has been, oh my goodness. However, as the earth changes, and as the earth is doing its thing, it's not to be totally afraid, even though some of those things are very abrupt. Change that happens too quickly is disruptive and can be very depressing for people. Change that happens too slowly for any of us can create boredom and depression as well. So anytime you're dealing with change, observing it, seeing it anywhere, or experiencing it in any part of your life, whether it's your physical health, your mental capability, what you're doing with you. Me, I have it every day on the computer because I am not an electronic person. But I keep an eye. Reverend Kenneth Cuskins used to say that. So I'm going to leave you with a story. And this story is that I was on email, and once upon a time, we learn all kinds of stuff. One thing I learned, and I explored a whole lot of metaphysical things 50 years ago, and one of them was the tarot. Some of you are familiar with that, some of you are not, and it's neither here nor there. You can ask in our bookstore, others will explain it to you should you need that. However, there is a deck of cards, and the cards have different symbology, which is quite interesting for symbology. And so I went on, and I had studied astrology 50 years ago. And when I was exploring metaphysics and mediumship and a whole lot of things that weren't talked about and shared as openly as they are today. So this past week, it has felt to me like it's been a stressful time. It has felt to me that it's been a confusing time for many. And it's felt to me as though that chaos and confusion we recognize through things that are going on in the news, things that are going on all over our planet. So I decided to go on an astrological website, see what my stars were doing. Had they stayed in this galaxy? I was looking. So when I got ready to get off of it after it's kind of fun when you learn when your birthday is. maybe. Anyway, and so one thing at the very end of it was it said, pick a tarot card. This is on the computer, it's outside. Anyway, so I said, okay, so I played. The spirit of you works best at play, by the way. So I played. And I drew a card, and it was the Six of Pentacles for those of you tarot authority figures who would know more of what that means. And don't tell me later, because it was a pleasure just to read something simple. Anyway, and it said, today, because of all that's going on today, the 28th, the weekend of the 28th and 29th, astrologically, there's been this eclipse thing going on, and I don't know, there's more, and I'm so sorry I'm abusing this, but you can come in. Come on. Really, I'm telling a joke. Come on in. So anyway, it just said that you are a person who has a great deal of wealth coming. And you will want to share it. Here I am. So I emailed my friend Karen, who's here today, and she had emailed me something different in the morning, and I responded back to her and told her what was going on, and I said, I'm going to share this. I'm going to share, if I win the lottery, I'm going to share it with you, just because I was told that that was a good plan. But I haven't been on the lottery in probably 5 years. So you'll need to wait a little bit. Take a chance, because the word chance means infinite possibilities. Risk means possible injury or harm. Let your life have more chances, because we all grew up with that once upon a time, and it is truly a heartfelt place. But let the past be important, but let your present and your future be more. And thank you for being here.
Thanks so much, Diane. Such an important subject. During our musical interlude now, we will be passing the basket, and we thank you in advance for your generosity. Our musical interlude will be presented by Jamie.
You want me to sing with you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
This is for the victims of Lewiston, Maine. When all the world is a hopeless jumble and the raindrops tumble all around, heaven opens a magic lane. When all the clouds darken up the skyways, there's a rainbow highway to be found, leading from your window pane to a place behind the sun, just a step beyond the rain. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow. Skies are blue. And the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me. Where sunlight melts like lemon drops, way above the chimney tops. That's where you find me. Somewhere for the rainbow, bluebirds fly, birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh, why can't I?
Thank you, Jamie. That was beautiful. And I was sitting there and I was thinking, we thank our healers in the morning. But I'd like to, on behalf of the co-pastors, I'd like to give a thanks to a few people here. Jamie is our vocalist every Sunday and really puts a lot of work into that and just blesses us with her beautiful music. And also our sound system people. Because that's just a really important job in this temple. They do all the music back there for the hymns. They put the service on the website, and more than I even know, because I'm not technical either. But so I'd really like to thank our sound system person, Bob White, and Jamie, who steps in. And Coquette is way back there. She does it on the first Sunday of the month. So thank you so much. We really, really appreciate you guys. Judy. Oh, and Cynthia. I'm sorry, Cynthia. I am so sorry. Please accept my apology. Also, Cynthia Preston, training on it as well. I'm sorry, I forgot you were here this morning. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you all for helping us to thank them. So, let us assume an attitude of prayer now for the gifts that we received. We give thanks for these gifts before us, so generously given. And we see this loving energy go forth to support Casadega in doing its loving healing energy in the work in the world, which is just so needed. And so we say, thank you, Spirit. Amen. All right, we have announcements today. We've got a little more than usual, so bear with me. Next Wednesday, November 1st, our message bearer is Reverend Phil DeLong at our message service. Next Sunday, the 5th, our guest speaker at our 10:30 service is going to be me, Reverend Deborah Breton-Gamber. The title of my talk will be, We Are Either in Fear or in Love. Every Sunday, we have Adult Lyceum, also known as Adult Sunday School, from 9:30 a.m. to 10:15 a.m. in the Andrew Jackson Davis building. And next Sunday, November 5th, our guest Lyceum speaker is Reverend Chris Seastead, and we're looking forward to having her here. She's going to be doing quite a few things in the camp. Also, just a reminder for next Saturday, to turn your clocks back. I love that phrase, spring ahead, fall back. Otherwise, I totally forget which way to go. So just remember to turn your clocks back next Sunday or Saturday night. Let's see, a few announcements. as well for workshops and things that are happening. Next Saturday, November 4th, that our guest, Chris Seestead, Reverend Chris Seestead, from 4 to 7 p.m. in the Slater House on Chauncey Street, is going to be doing a Finding Fairies workshop using all 4 elements. And she says, we will be looking into different types of fairies, earth, fire, air, and water, and exploring how to attract them in their natural environment. And so that should be a really wonderful workshop on Saturday in Slater House. And these are all printed in the flyer in your Kindle, so you don't have to remember it. Also, next Sunday, Reverend Diane Davis is doing Listening to the Whispers. And she's going to be talking about that internal guidance that has been with you since birth. It is a discovery of listening and participating with the infinite, no matter what, no matter when. And so that will be next Sunday from 2 to 4 in the Andrew Jackson Davis building. Again, that's in your flyer. And also, we continue to have our Fall Fest going on today, tomorrow, and Tuesday from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. And today we have craft vendors right up at the top of the street there, across the street in front of the Berkner building. We have mini readings from 3:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. And then our Casadega After Dark tour at 8 p.m. Tomorrow, Monday, we have mini readings and vendor market again. And then on Tuesday, Halloween, we continue to have, again, the vendors, our special and our special encounter spirits night tour. This is on Tuesday evening. It's a special Halloween edition for, and bring your digital cameras because it's a great opportunity to take spirit photography. So, and again, that's all in your flyer, in your hymnal. To participate in absentee healing, please print the name and first initial or of the last name of a loved one, friend, or even a pet in our healing book at the left-hand corner of Colby Temple, right in the corner there. Every Thursday morning, we have our healing meditation circle at 11 p.m. up in the bookstore building. And where all the names on the healing list are held in prayer. We hold in prayer the world, and it's a wonderful meditation service. So please join us if you can. Flyers for camp activities are in the back. We have activities calendar and the flyer again, and this is what they look like, and you'll find them right in your hymnals, and we have extras in the back, so help yourself if you want to share them with someone else too. And our website, casadega.org, also has the monthly information as well as other upcoming events. It's a great place to go, casadega.org, to find out everything that's happening here. So please stand now for the next hymn, number 162, excuse me, Spirit Calls Us.
It calls us to We've had Thank you. You may be seated.
Right, for the message portion of our service this morning, Reverend Diane Davis will be your message bearer. So please let's welcome her back up to the podium.
I have to beat the clock. Does anybody want a message? Darling, I don't think have I ever given you a message? I know, isn't that fun? Okay, this is a wonderful medium in our community too. We're acting like we never see each other. But it's not like two mediums meet and tell each other how they're doing either. Just saying, one of those once upon a time magical moments. Darlene, it feels to me like you're waiting for word. And I feel like there is something that, when I say that, some sort of news or information data that you're waiting on in order to make some plans for the mid part of 2024. And I want to say it's not a problem, it's just a matter of completion. And so when I say that to you, it feels to me that there's going to be a lot of resolution or completion that will start to show up more by mid to late November. And so it's not to have expectation yet, but knowing that within just a couple of weeks, you're going to have more information or data that's going to help you make those plans that help you do something next summer that's different for you that you haven't done before. And I want to mention something. There is a woman who I do feel has passed away connected to you. And I want to tell you that she had complications in the chest area of the body prior to her passing. That wasn't what created her passing. She had complications somehow here, caused difficulty breathing as well as swallowing. And one thing I feel with her when I experience her is more of a grandmother in that generation connected to you. The feeling I have with her is her stroking your head as a baby. And I feel she would have loved to do that. And it feels to me that the connection with her today has a lot to do with congestion in the chest with you. Not that this is any severe situation, but just take good steps with it because you're having some allergy sensitivity here. And I would want you to take care of it rather than ignoring it. So in whatever way that would be appropriate for you. And thank you so much for being here, and I'll pay you later. And one other thing I would like to mention to you is that there is opportunity for you to start writing. And you have compiled some things, you've just not put them all together yet. You're going to continue to do that, and by March and April in 2024, and this is compiling information that's yours and that you're wanting to share and your inspiration. And it's going to be inclusive of some other areas of interest and other areas of your expertise. And I would say, go for it, girl. All right. Yeah. Okay. I'm supposed to finish. Somebody's waving to me from the back row. Oh. The gentleman back here, I've forgotten your name, sir. Green shirt, you're looking around. David. Yes. David. David, excuse me for forgetting. I met you, what, a month ago? 2 weeks ago? Anyway, David, it feels to me as though there is something, it's like if I was symbolically seeing you on a pathway, and don't interpret this is just me with my symbology, is that it's like it's winding. And so I feel like there is a situation that is like this, so it's not anything disruptive or wrong. It's just, it's not straight. As you get into early to mid-January, right around the time of a celebration, a birthday or an anniversary, there's going to be also opportunity to straighten some things out. When you are able to do that, it feels to me that you're going to be able to make some changes that you've wanted to make and that just haven't materialized fully yet. And it's not like the ones that I just mentioned to Darlene. It's like, it's as though something involves paper, signature, agreement, contracts. And it feels to me you're going to take care of it, but it might be a little later than you anticipated, and that's that first of the year. So just observe how that shows up. I'm very aware of the name of Louise connected to you. And I'm very aware also that you have a whole bunch of people who have passed away, and you have helped them a great deal in your life. And I feel as though that if you haven't done some form of healing, a healing modality, it was still your capability to be comforting and helpful. And the reason I'm mentioning this group of people is I saw a man standing there, but I felt like he was a part of this group. And I felt like this group were united in where they lived, where they may have lived in a facility together or apartments together or condos together. There was something connecting them. And I also would want to say that you have had a lot to do with people being bettered. You understand that. You know that you've done that. You just always didn't take the credit. And there's a woman who has passed away that I feel could easily have been a mate or partner, spouse for you. And I feel that she knew it, but she didn't always brag on you either because she knew you were shy. And I would not want to leave that with you. And thank you for being here. That was nice. You were sweet. She knew what she knew. She could be a tough cookie, but she was very sweet with you. Okay, that was fun. The woman back, the blonde in the back, you know the shoulders, when the shoulders are open like that, don't you get drafty? That's you. Have you had a reading of some kind before? Oh, good. I didn't want you to run out the door yet. And please remember, we have a growth service in here very, very soon after I quit talking. And that will bring messages are brought to many of you that are maybe different and not as long-winded as me. But I'm up here and I've got the microphone. Okay. The feeling I have as I'm speaking with you is I feel like there's a little hurdle. And when I mention a hurdle, it's not, this doesn't mean bad or good. It just shows me an obstacle as though something that's not quite happening. You haven't cleared the hurdle yet, but the hurdle isn't tall. It's about 2 feet high and the kind of one you can walk right over when you're ready to do that, but you're not ready to do that. What I do feel is you've gone through some pain and some sadness or disappointment here, starting in late January, early February this year. And I will tell you that's done. You understand this? And it feels like that's finished. But it feels like there's opportunity coming right up that I feel is much more rewarding, much more fulfilling. Part of it has to do with companionship, and part of it has to do with where you really want to live. You haven't made up your mind yet. You're happy in certain places, plural. And that's going to continue for a while. And what I will mention to you is that as you get into mid to late December this year, going into April of 2024, that's a time period that you're going to do some back and forth traveling a lot. And then you're going to make the decision and choice. And I would encourage you to give it that kind of time frame, because it feels like spring's going to bring opportunity for a move and change. And it doesn't feel like it's in Florida. So if you hadn't planned to move out of state, well, stay open-minded. It might be a second home. It's, you got it? Okay. But it's going to be connector. Okay, they say I have to get off now. But this is when you sing the closing hymn.
Not quite yet.
Oh, I'm just told not quite yet. Thank you all very much for being here, and have a safe Halloween.
Thank you so much, Diane, for those messages. We would like to remind everyone, as Diane just did, thank you, Diane, that our afternoon message service is right here at 12 o'clock in just 15 minutes, from 12 to 12:30. And a group of mediums and student mediums will be giving spirit greetings to as many individuals as they can reach during that message service. Everybody's welcome. We encourage you to visit our bookstore, which is open 11:30 to 5 p.m. today, and open Monday through Saturdays and from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Please rise for our closing hymn, number 203, Let There Be Peace on Earth, and remain standing for the closing prayer.
Let there be peace on earth, and be with me. Let peace that was sent to be all created. Walk with each other in time, let peace begin with me, let peace come, then round.
Please take an attitude of prayer now. I'd like to end with a Celtic blessing. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, and may the rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. God bless you all, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. You had wonderful energy. Thank you so much.
Open-mindedness. While they're giving it to us, to keep it really soft, okay, and so I recognize that. But kind of, you did a really good job. No, thank What? No, she is.